Half a day. My name is Jennifer McFerrin. I'm here with the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce. And today we're sitting with Corey Williams, who is the Public Information Officer for the Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience for the U.S. Small Business Administration. And today, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jennifer. Thank you for having me. And it's always, an awesome opportunity to be able to speak in front of the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. So you're here as part of the recovery. What resources are available to our island businesses and nonprofits as part of the Mawar recovery?
Great question, Jennifer. So first off, my heart goes out to anyone impacted by Typhoon Mawar, whether you're a homeowner, renter, business owner, or nonprofit. We're in the phase of this disaster right now where the physical deadline is passed for homeowners, renters, and business owners, but there's a lot of resources that are available for the Guam business owners and nonprofits through what's called our Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. And what that is really providing working capital to Guam business owners and nonprofits to sustain themselves during this recovery period. So when you think about different disasters as far as Typhoon Mawar, some people, you can see the disaster damage. You can see water in a building. You can see a roof blown off. You can see windows blown out. But one thing that a lot of Guam businesses and nonprofits don't see is drops in sales, having to lay off employees, having to, not being able to fulfill a contract because the books are tight, or canceled events for nonprofits. Those are all signs of economic injury. And, for us as an agency, the U.S. Small Business Administration, Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience, we understand that economic injury takes longer to identify. So that's the reason why the deadline to apply for economic injury disaster loan programs is actually not until February 28, 2024.
Oh, wow, that's quite a while from now. And then would you want to tell us a little bit more about what kind of terms there would be on that loan?
Great question, yes. So for the loans, they're up to 30 years amortized. And you wouldn't believe this, Jennifer, but it's a 0% interest accrual for the entire first year. In addition, there's a 12-month deferment. So for any Guam business owner, nonprofit that needs working capital funds to be able to borrow funds from the U.S. Small Business Administration's Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience with no repayment for a whole year, no interest accrual, and businesses can borrow up to $2 million to repair, not to repair, replace disaster damage real estate if they have the physical loan, but for the economic injury, which is working capital loans. Now, one question that, a lot of Guam business owners and nonprofits may ask is, well, Corey, we might need some money, but, we don't want to pledge collateral. Well, a business actually can borrow up to $25,000 for their economic injury, and it's an unsecured loan, signature loan.
Wow, that's really excellent. And so the types of businesses and nonprofits that could apply for this, are there any, I'm sure there's a long list of requirements, but is there kind of a short list that you could go over?
That's a great question. Under SBA.gov, they kind of define a small business. The one thing that I want to say for any Guam business owner or nonprofit that was impacted, don't self-determine your eligibility. A lot of times, especially in times of disaster, you'll say, well, our business is too big, or our business just started, or, we don't have enough sales yet. Don't self-determine and decide for yourself. Let our processing center in Fort Worth, Texas, make that determination. So submit an application because, again, you never know if you may be approved. And then if you happen to get declined, businesses and nonprofits can actually apply for reconsideration within 6 months of a decline. And it may be simple things. It could be, a small collection on their credit, or it may be that, if it's a newer business, and I know the Guam Women's Chamber is really a champion for, a lot of the new businesses. So if it's even a new business, maybe our processing center wants to see projections or different things that can supplement that loan application. So never self-determine, always go ahead and complete that application because again, there may be funds down the line for businesses through HUD and the CBDG program, but one of the requirements is that you have to exhaust all federal resources, namely applying for the SBA disaster loan.
Oh, great. So it's really, there's no reason not to apply, basically, if you think that it could benefit your business.
Exactly. I mean, the one thing I always say is that, I'm a small business owner myself, and I take pride for me in putting our businesses, and letting them know about the information because, a lot of times businesses will wait until month 3, month 4, month 5 or 6 and say, oh, wow, Corey, we've had to drop in sale for the last 6 months, or Corey, we have a nonprofit and we've had 3 events canceled, or we had some events postponed. When you have canceled or postponed events for that nonprofit, you got to think about it. That's anticipated revenue on that day. Like there's a huge women's summit coming up with the Guam Women's Chamber. Got shout out to Guam's Women's Chamber for the summit coming up. But just imagine if there was another nonprofit. They had, let's say, a festival, and let's say that festival was in mid-October. Well, now because of Typhoon Mawar, they were anticipating selling 100 tables. Now, because of the storm, now they only sold 50 tables. Well, that's an economic injury because they anticipated revenue on 100 tables sold and the different revenues that they were going to get from that. So when you think about even in a smaller context, like, church events or any kind of, sales that or contracts that may have been canceled, postponed, that's anticipated revenue on those days. And that's why it's so important to make sure to not wait until month 6, 7, 8, and 9, because a lot of times, by that time, Jennifer, they've tapped out their personal resources, and then now they have nothing else, and then maybe their credit's not as good. So while they have the opportunity to take advantage of the programs that the U.S. Small Business Administration's Office of Disaster and Recovery offers, this is the time to go ahead and take advantage.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a great way to have like a bridge, a bit more of a buffer, so you don't have to make those difficult decisions. Exactly.
And we're probably right now just a little bit over 4 months into Typhoon Mawar. So we're into that area where some of the business owners are like, whoa, like something's not quite right. Like our sales have dropped. We had to lay off employees. We had a contract that got pushed back, because we couldn't offer the deliverables. So when they start seeing that, that's the time to apply. To make sure that they're getting proactive, because if they let it go on for 2 or 3 more months, then they may be in an even worse position.
Right, that's very true. And then what separates the traditional SBA programs from the office that you work with, the Disaster Recovery and Resilience?
Great question. So with the traditional SBA programs, all those loans are actually guaranteed by SBA, but they're funded by banks. With the U.S. Small Business Administration's Office of Disaster Recovery, all of our loans are directly funded by the U.S. Treasury. That's what allows us to do the 0% interest accrual for the entire first year, the 12-month deferment, because these are your taxpayer dollars at work.
Oh, okay, wonderful. That's really great to know. And then if people have other questions, is there like a great website that you direct them to, or a person?
Even better. So we have 2 recovery centers that are actually still in Guam. Okay. We have the Business Recovery Center that's actually at the University of Guam. And then we also have a kind of a quasi disaster loan outreach center / business outreach center that's in Dadido, that's at the Astumbo Senior Citizen Center. Yeah. So we have 2 centers, and both of those, the Business Recovery Center is open from Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then the Dadido Astumbo Senior Citizen Center, that's open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. So while there are people here on the island, I strongly suggest visiting the Business Recovery Center or the Disaster Loan Outreach Center to get the assistance that you need.
Great. And do you think that those centers are going to be open for the next a certain amount of time, or is it unknown at this point?
Great question. So we're pretty much planning that the Business Recovery Center will be open all the way through mid-November. It is a possibility that the Dadido Astumbo Senior Citizen Center may close at the end of October. I think they're targeting October 29th, but we should have a presence through mid-November with at least one of those centers being open. Okay. So while they're open, take the time to visit, go talk to the customer service representatives, close the loans, also turn in any supplemental documents that, you can pretty much consider that your one-stop shop for business and, nonprofit recovery.
Right, right. That sounds like an excellent resource that everyone should definitely take advantage of.
It is, and this is why we're here. We came here for the long term to make sure we can provide those centers and help out the businesses and nonprofits through this recovery from Typhoon Mawar.
Okay, got it. And then, so if this video is live and people are watching it after that date, is there a website that you would recommend?
Yes, so you can go to sba.gov/disaster assistance, and then just make sure to put in the SBA declaration number, which is 17449. Again, that's GU 17449, and then they can apply right online by going to the sba.gov/disaster assistance, or they can go to disasterloanassistance.sba.gov. So there's two ways. The easier way I would say is go to sba.gov. That's our main page, and then you can just look up disaster assistance from there.
Okay, sounds really good. Was there anything else that I missed that you want to cover?
Well, the one thing, Jennifer, we're proud supporters of the Guam Women's Chamber, and as we transition also into long-term recovery, it's so important to make sure that our businesses and nonprofits stay sustained. These programs, as we kind of have that transition to long-term recovery, make sure that you at least take advantage or at least review the programs, because again, we don't want you to be in a position that 5 months from now your business is closed and you could have said, well, I had an opportunity to apply for an SBA loan, I didn't, I just was waiting, or whatever may be the case. Don't let that delay hinder you from keeping your business doors open.
Great. Thank you so much, Corey. I really appreciate you taking the time today, and I hope everybody got a lot from this. I know I did, and I hope that you do apply, or at the very least, take a look at the website. So thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. You're awesome.
Thank you.